Right then, hello guys, welcome back. How are you doing today? I've got a couple of videos planned to record today, but this is one of the more requested ones. A couple of people wanted to know what my general opinions were on the recent Meet Your Match update, so I thought I'd just quickly scroll down the update page here. I'll stick some, scrim footage in the background or something, and I can sit here and chat about it if any of you are interested to see what my views were. So, first of all, they added a bunch of new maps. They added 3 maps. They added Sunshine, Metalworks, and Swiftwater. Very happy with that. I've wanted Swiftwater as a map in Valve pubs for absolute years. Metalworks, not so much. It's a Sixes map, but it's alright in pubs, really. It doesn't really feel right, but, it's nice to have more maps in the rotation. And Sunshine, it's basically just processed with lighthouses. It's really good. So, that's good so far. The taunts are all nice. That's all crap. Meet Your Stranger crate, whatever it was called, go dogging outside crate, that's what it was called. They added like 4 new strangers, which I'll buy eventually for like a scrap each. Right now they're like a key. But that's not the bit that you're here for. We're going to go through just the actual general changes. So all the, menu changes, all this crap, I don't care. They did some stuff with like prereqs, so now if you have it in, it'll tell you you've installed prereq, you need to get rid of it. Which is good. That was a good change. They're trying to move to the internal version of prereq, which is good, I guess. I'm hoping they do a proper overhaul though, because the Counter-Strike version of the demo UI is so much better. You can actually fast forward and stop at different ticks without it crashing. So hopefully they do that eventually. Pastime I could give 2 shits about, to be honest. I didn't even play it once in the beta. The first time I played it was the only time I played it, and that was to get the achievement hat with some of the people from my Highlander team. I don't even have the beta badge. Also, they made the Dr. Seuss hat all class. I don't know why. They just basically gave TK fucking 50 keys for free there. I'm a bit miffed about that. But that's alright. They had a couple of bug fixes that I thought were interesting. They fixed the bug, which I really liked to abuse, but they fixed the bug on the kunai where if you are kind of halfway through disguising and then finish disguising, it takes about a second or 2. The sentry would stop looking at you because it was copy and pasted from the Eternal Reward, I think. That was really fun for a bit, but they got rid of that, so that's alright. They got rid of the thing, I think, where you could see multiple weapons. Yeah, they got rid of that. They fixed the... Oh god, I hate that. The glitch when you are as an engineer, you couldn't break the tapper on the teleporter. That was piss annoying, so I'm glad they got rid of that as a spy main. Because I never got it as a spy, but I only ever got it as an engineer. They fixed some other shit. They added, finally, the engineer's dick hitbox, which, to be honest, must have led to a lot of missed shots, because due to bullet spread kind of just going through his dick. That's alright, they fixed that. They supposedly fixed a bunch of air blast stuff, but realistically, I've been playing Pyro. It is a little better. It's not really fixed, though. Also, they did some other... I've just skipped the performance changes. I've noticed, nothing, really. So what is it? They did something... They, cache your HUD. Yeah. It caches your custom HUD now, which is really good, except for one thing, which is when you're editing a HUD, I think it's Veerhoofd that came up with this, or showed everyone. You could reset a lot of the stuff in your HUD without having to restart your game. That stuff that wouldn't reset when you used HUD layout.res, they've broken that now. So you now have to restart your game when you're editing your main menu and shit, which is very annoying. But other than that, I feel like my FPS has been kind of the same, really. No big of a deal. The custom HUD stuff, it's update, they need to do it. I'm a bit miffed though, because I've finally managed to fix just about everything. The notification thing doesn't work, so if I had to make an alias. If I want to get an item drop, I just type drop into the console now. And that's how I kind of got around that. I've managed to fix everything from the update, except for having the little checkboxes to select what maps you're on. So I'm a bit miffed about that. I'll fix it one day, or I'll just keep, playing random. But we'll get on to more of those things later. Random shit in the Manco store, I don't care, really. Granary, they're trying to make, they're trying to make it more like the pro version, where they've pulled last in a lot. Badlands, the extra cap thing actually has made a big difference, because Badlands last typically has been really easy to back cap. So you've had to leave multiple people. It's been really hard to push out of. If you're pushed on Badlands last, because they can cap it a second, or half a second with a scout, I think, you had to always keep 2 soldiers, or a soldier in a demo, or if you're, a decent team, just the soldier, on last to stop any back cappers. Now that's no longer really a problem. You've got double the time to deal with it, so hopefully it'll be a bit easier to push out. Foundry, I don't care. Upward, apparently they haven't actually fixed the sentry bug. Thunder Mountain, manpower, they haven't mentioned it, but they fucked around with Swiftwater, big time. I don't like the new version, I like the old version more, but they've deleted a bunch of the health and ammo packs and moved some of them in really weird spots. And from what I've seen, they've gotten rid of the engineer spot on last, where you could put a sentry on kind of high up. Little miffed around that. But let's go on to the actual game balance changes. So, Criticola, it makes no difference. at all. That marked for death thing doesn't make any difference. Like, I don't know why they don't just add mini crits on it again. Like that was a fine like downside for dealing mini crits. Taking mini crits was a fine downside. The soda popper nerf, yeah, all right, that's fair. The short stop right click. I think I've died to it like once. A guy pushed me off a cliff and I wasn't expecting it, and then since then I've been like, oh, I can die now. That was it. I haven't even noticed. I haven't played with it. I don't care. It's not the scattergun, so the changes are indifferent. Sun on a stick. Righteous Bison. They apparently made it so that previously, what was the main thing with the item was where if someone was reversing, you deal more damage to them because the projectiles hit them multiple times. They've gotten rid of that, so now it just does the same damage all the time. So it's a bit like a weird ranged shotgun launcher thing, which I don't know. I don't think the Bison needed a nerf. All of this looks like it's a nerf. It's like, oh, it deals a bit more damage on average. But it's... I don't think they needed to change it. I think it was fine. Nerfing the whip was fine. I think that, it's a bit broken. I think, a bit broken is in... hopefully they're trying to make it eventually where people might consider allowing it used in 6s, because right now you can kind of get heavies to mid, which is pretty broken, and heavies, matchmaking doesn't have class limits, so you can just take 2 heavies to the mid if you want to, but we will get onto my opinions on competitive in just a little bit once we're done with all this. The rocket jumper and the sticky jumper thing, I've already gotten used to the changes. They look silly when they're reloading, like your hand goes through them, but other than that, it's a decent change. Hopefully it'll stop people from trying to kill each other with them, because that was stupid. Cozy Camper nerf, that's good. That's good. I don't see a Razorback nerf or a Darren's Danger Shield nerf, but, we're on the step there. They took out the least good of those 3 backpacks, so that's good. I guess in like a 6s aspect, it was pretty dangerous, but in 6s you tend to hardscope anyway, for the most part. So, I'd rather they just, made the Razorback take longer to overheal or not go up over 150 or, more bullet, damage or something, I don't know. Whatever. Sydney Sleeper, didn't need a buff. I thought it was perfectly good before. It's really good now. It's really enjoyable. Go on to Team Fortress 2 Center lobbies and use that shit on Koth. Really easy to aim, does a lot of damage, charges faster, and you can wee on people at a range. So I don't know why they buffed that. They buffed the Cleaner's Carbine, which... they nerfed the Heavy, that's great. All of these are just nerfs. I don't... hopefully the update fixes that a little bit. I'm really hoping that they add a minigun where you can just fly across the map. Doesn't no damage, but you can just kind of shoot it and go... I think Sandwich said that would be a good idea. Let's have a look. Spy change. Yes. The speed boost is wonderful. I love it. So, a big thing on Steel, Badwater, and some other maps is, like, spy movement can be restricted by certain things. Like, on Steel, it's restricted by the fact that you can't, rocket jump, and the fact that bunny hopping onto the midpoint from before was, like, a 1 in 20 thing. Like, I always did it in pre-games. I must have played, like, hundreds of games of Steel, maybe not, maybe hundreds, I don't know. I played it for years, but I could only get onto the midpoint during the pre-games like 1 in 20, 1 in 15 times. Now you can get on in it like 19 in 20 times. All you have to do is kind of line up with the kind of lip on the floor by BC connector door, and the edge of the point. It's not actually a circle, obviously. It's it's a very pointy, polygonal shape. And if you line up with the end and go in a perfectly straight line and don't strafe and do a little bit of wiggling, you can get onto the midpoint like most of the time now. So that's wonderful. I've used it like twice, so it was a decent change. And Badwater Third, the dispenser, you no longer have to get whipped or abuse the Dead Ringer to get up to where the Engineer's Sentry is on Third. You can just jump there now. It's really good. I'd recommend practicing it if you... There's dogs barking outside. Anyway, regardless, I'd recommend practicing that. Plus, the speed boost, I think, is really broken in backstabs. It was so easy to catch. It was really easy to catch up to people before, because a little bit of bunny hopping, a little bit of corner cutting, you could get up with them. Now you can just go right up there. It's really good. You can escape from pyros really easily now because you can slightly outrun them. It's nice. I enjoy it. It's not that much of a change for Gunspy because it's leaning more and more into kind of standing still and shooting people. I guess it's a bit of nerf to people that strafe aim, so it's kind of kick up the bum to go and learn how to properly aim. Strafe aim's nice in like a pinch, but you should learn how to aim properly just so you can do it. It's a good skill. But I'm doing that thing with my fingers that Italians do when they're really happy about food. Oh, that's very good. The Enforcer buff I could give two shits about, really, but I'm never going to use it. But anyway, another thing with the base speed is that I've always missed my backstabs. I think it's because I have shit internet, basically, is what I'm blaming it on. But I'd always kind of, every other second, I kind of flick back a little bit. And sometimes I'd be right on the range of someone's back, but I'd flick back at the same time I left click, so I'd miss the stab. Now, I'm hitting all the stabs, because I can catch right up to them. I'm moving faster than they are, so that's good, I'm enjoying that. The pyro, inverted commas, buff, like the medigun thing, haven't noticed a shit difference. Man melter, I mean, I don't care. It's good for the man melter. It now does, 40 damage at the same rate the flare gun does, but without crits or rocket jumping, so that's good. Medigun. Holy shit, this is a scout buff and a half. If you've seen it. So scouts are already taken over sixes. The current sixes strat is scout. Just throw scouts at people. This buff is a scout buff. The fact that the medic can run at the same speed without the quick fix, you can uber scouts very easily. So when you have an advantage of 10%, you can uber your scout, run in there, trash the medic, because it's a scout and he has 6 shots and a pistol and reloads fast and doesn't have to rocket jump and use up his own thing. It's moving stuff. I don't know if it's a good direction, because it's a scout buff and it's already the strongest class in the game. Sniper's very good, blah, 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 but 6 scouts much easier to do well in. You move fast, you do a lot of damage, you got a lot of dodging opportunities. With sniper, you have to be pixel perfect, and you have to rely on other people running into your sightline, or you running into them and quick scoping them, or whatever. Sniper's got the highest skill ceiling, but Scout's got the most, it's really easy to get good at Scout. You play it for a couple of hours, MGE, play for a couple of seasons, and you'll get really good at it. Sniper, you kind of have to sit on bad water for 1,000 hours, and then suddenly you can hit every shot in your prem. Anyway, quick fix, they nerfed it. Okay, that's not very good. Now the quick fix is kind of useless, I think. I don't know why you use it. I'm not medic main though, so you never know. The heal rate's been reduced. That's what the nerf was. Overdose, they're trying to buff it, because currently the crossbow is the best thing, and everyone should use the crossbow. If you're not using the crossbow, you're a silly person, because it's really good. But I guess they're trying to make other stuff viable while making medic more fun to play. They're making it so you can't just kill the medic, pick up his medigun and have an instant uber. It will drop down a little bit. That's good. Demo man, they're trying to nerf the booties a bit, because the booties in 6s are apparently really good. I haven't seen it personally, but I've heard a lot of people say that you could run up to mid and always have if you have 200 health, I think you get overhealed to 300 health? You might have 300 health demo man, I wasn't sure, but 300 health demo man running at full speed, it was a bit silly, because the sticky, not having the grenades isn't that big of a deal if you've got stickies and a 6s team to, do your primary damage for you anyway. So, it's good that they're going to get rid of that. Making the iron bomber better, that's good. They're making the quickie bomb launcher into the rocket launcher. I don't think they needed that. The quickie bomb launcher was already an alright side grade, and now it's just, you took 125 damage. You can one-shot scouts with it now. So they're nerfing scouts a tiny bit, but, I don't like being one-shot by, one sticky from across the map that you can't dodge, because it moves faster and charges really fast. Why are the dogs woofing it? I'm not sure. NG, I haven't played any of it, I have to be honest. But that teleporter buff seems much nicer. So you can now build teleporter entrance and exit for 100 metal. That's nice. That'll make NG more fun. It's like when they made NG move faster when he's moving his buildings. That was a nice that's a nice buff. It made it more fun. Widowmaker buff is useless. Useless isn't, 10%. It's Widowmaker, Eureka effect. Short circuit. Base attack projectile is -10. And then add a -5 for each projectile destroyed. I don't know what it did before, to be honest. But, it's engineer. I have no particular opinions on it. The short circuit's a bit annoying to play against, but it's not as annoying as one, when they first buffed it and you could destroy every projectile sitting inside a dispenser. Thompson, they fixed the weird exploit where you could shoot through your own buildings, and they've buffed the damage at close range to do a little bit less than a meat shot, and I don't like that. I just just get rid of the medigun and the cloak thing, and then it will be a nice little weapon, I think. Bring back the penetration on it, and that'll be good. Like a nice little bison for the engineer. Be good. Because one of the reasons the engineer still has 200 ammo in his pistols for spy checking. There you go. Originally, they probably don't care about that anymore, but yeah. Anyway, that was kind of the main bulk of it, and then they also, released competitive, which was Okay, so I quite like my settings and configs and scripts. They kind of cut most of those out, not the scripts, but they cut most of the configs out. I physically can't stand playing it though. I go in there, I have, my view model shoved up my nose. You can use min view model, and then, your gun looks a bit like a penis. That's great. It's really off-putting. It's like I think it's the worst of two worlds. My friend disagrees. He thinks it's the best of, having no view models and having a view model. I personally either have the full view model, so I know what I'm shooting at, or no view model, so I can actually see. I can't play. I have a really, really low frame rate because I can't use the proper graphics configs because it disables most of the settings. My HUD breaks all the time, but that's my fault because I'm not updating it, but I don't care enough to update it for that, because I don't want to play no whitelist 6s with like 20 frames a second and a view model shoved up my face. Like, I don't like it. The forced settings, it's like the easiest reason for me just not want to play it. I don't want to play that. That's not very fun. I'm sure other people are enjoying it fine, like they normally play with vanilla settings anyway. But Christ, like, at least let me turn off my view model so I can shoot at stuff. I'm glad, though, they fixed the sniper scope thing, so now you can actually have the proper scope ratio, so your sensitivity doesn't change weirdly in competitive. However, casual. Oh, this is the juicy part of the update. They added in the fact that you can now join into games that are currently playing. That's good. I really like casual. I play like 35 games, and I've really enjoyed them. They've basically just been pubs with a lot more teamwork, which I really like. I'm enjoying them. I've come across 2 hackers in the 30 or 5-ish games, and I just left and then joined a new one in about like 5-10 minutes. It wasn't that bad. And I'm assuming now, and what I've heard is that you can join them like way faster now because of the whole join a game in progress. So that's really good. Plus, in addition, I've gone and played a couple of community servers. They're mostly kind of shit because there's like none of them with players on them. There was a couple of just like generic, community server, 20 out of 24 players playing, Gold Rush, Badwater, whatever, generic maps. You go on there and it's like 50 choke. It's like, okay. Yeah, the server owner's running this out of his bumhole. Skyle Badwater, I played on, and like half the team like left after about 10 minutes. That wasn't like I tried to play on it more, but I heard that Skyle Badwater was meant to have like some very good players on it, so I might have just joined at a bad time. But it was kind of like a Thursday evening. I was expecting there to be some juicy players on there. I'll have to go back and check again. But I'm really hoping that community servers do make a comeback because like TF2 was very much a community game. It was you go into your no heroes, Dust Bowl server or your Skyle 3 Dust Bowl, and you just sit there, you have a great time, you talk with everyone, you make teams together. And now it's just, Valve pub hopping. But hopefully they make a comeback. I love community servers. And eventually, when I eventually get to 10k, I'm sure I'll end up setting up a server, like I said I was going to do before. I still plan to do that. Hopefully YouTube doesn't just delete 500 subscribers again, because I'm a bit miffed about that, Mr. YouTube. I don't make very many a month. And he just kind of took away like 2 or 3 months worth of subscribers. That's alright. I like the update overall. I'm going to conclude it because it's coming up to the 20-minute mark. It's longer than I expected to take on this, actually. Christ. Anyway, I really like the update. I don't like competitive personally. Maybe if they get rid of all the 4 settings, I'll play it. But if you like it, you can like it. But I'd recommend going up and playing like lobbies, pugs, mixes, pugme.tf or whatever, pugnal. Just Google them. There's loads of them. There's loads of Steam groups. There's not very many IRC, like Internet Relay Chat ones going on anymore. But if you can find any, try them. They're way better than I think the Valve one. But I think it's a nice stepping stone to try and get the 90% of TF2 that hasn't ever played a lobby into competitive. But I would recommend, play open. Play open, steal. If you've got like 500 hours in the game, you can play open and steal fine. Even if you've only got like 200, if you've got a couple of friends that know what they're doing, you do fine. That's all it really takes. Anyway, regardless, spy buff good. Comp, I don't like. Casual, I do like. Community servers, I do like. Hopefully they bring back the fact that I can just play Valve Badwater, which they did! Hooray! You can now select a map you want, so I'm all happy. But that'll be all for today. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I will see you all next time. And goodbye.